Hi. For those that don't know me, I'm Virginia Walton. I am an executive burnout coach helping corporate women uh, manage the stress and overwhelm so they can continue to succeed both personally and professionally. Prior to starting my coaching practice, I spent 24 years in the banking and finance industry. I worked my way from teller at a small community bank that has, I think even today, still has less than $1 billion in assets, to senior vice president of a $27 billion bank, reporting directly to the chief risk officer. I'd love to tell you it was easy peasy and I didn't get stressed or overwhelmed at all, but I'd be lying. That's why I feel so strongly about helping other women, uh, one, know they're not alone and help them find better ways to manage without just saying no to the things they love because they just don't have time. So today's is going to be uh, a little different. Um, you'll notice normally I do my weekly live on Wednesday. It's Thursday. Um, I didn't put out an event first. You know why? Because I'm going to be honest. I get overwhelmed too, right? And that talk about feeling insecure, inferior, right? All those things that we deal with when we're feeling like we're handling too much and we can't handle it all. So I know I've talked in the past before that it's not your job, right? It may not just be the environment and it's life and how we handle it. And that's really true. And that's why, I struggled with the idea of sharing that, hey, I still feel that way some days because I'm the expert here. This is my business. I shouldn't, right? Sound familiar? You're not alone. I'm here. Here's what's different. In the past, when I was in a corporate environment and I was in the last role I mentioned, I push and I push and I thought there's something wrong with me. I thought, you know what? Maybe I'm in over my head. Maybe I shouldn't have gotten this position. Maybe those looks have some meaning behind them. And I keep going with less sleep, pushing more, staying in the office late, coming home, having dinner, and then, getting my laptop back on. I remember one night I was in the office till like 8. I came home, I heated up some dinner. As it's in the microwave, I'm flipping my laptop back open. I hadn't even gone upstairs in my house yet. I just walked into my kitchen, food, more work. Exhausted, like 11 or 11:30, I finally go upstairs and I just want to get a shower. My cat had peed all over my bed because he wasn't getting any attention. Now I'm bawling hysterically, stripping my bed, running the washer. So I thought, right, that doesn't happen. I kept pushing. I push. I would push and push until my body finally said, you're not doing this well. We're taking control. And I would shut down. I'd literally be in bed one morning on a weekday, one-eyed, trying to change my out of office, trying to send an email to my team that I wasn't going to be in. I need to take a sick day, trying to let my boss know, probably texting him. I could barely get out an email. I mean, literally in bed, one-eyed open, right? That's not attractive. And then drop the phone and crash. And I'd sleep 10, 12, 15 hours. I don't do that anymore. Okay. And you're probably thinking, wow, that must have been great. You don't have kids. I could never do that. I'm not saying that's the right thing. That's the point. That was not the way to handle it. So here I am, years later, older, wiser, an expert. And I felt I shouldn't feel this way. But guess what? This the shame happens to all of us. The trick is to recognize it. You know what? I'm running 2 businesses. I run this business and I have my family farm that I inherited. That was a financial disaster and I've turned around. I run 2 not-for-profits in my town. One which requires, county and town approvals. That's a fun process. And then I serve in like 4 capacities at my church and in another capacity in town. My boyfriend serves on 3 different service organizations, so we support each other. I'm a homeowner. I have family. I have sick family. I woke up to a call this morning that left me in tears. Guess what? I too, even though I don't have kids and I don't have a corporate job, I'm living life like all of you. It gets overwhelming. We're 2 years into a pandemic, people. It's 2022. I get emails not just on corporate burnout. I don't just see articles on physician and nurse and healthcare worker burnout. Hell, last week I got an email from a Catholic religious teachers organization reminding us that we're all feeling it. We're struggling to do what we're called to do in that capacity. So it's okay. It's not just work. It's life. It's our environment, and it's okay. It's okay. You are not alone. You are not failing. You are living. You are human. I am human. So before you think, whoa, you're supposed to be the expert, why would I listen to you? Why would I want to work with you? That's why. I've been in your shoes in the corporate world. I've been there. I felt it. It took a really painful lesson before I realized this is not the right way to do it. And I'm living life just like you. Here's the difference. I used to go to the point where my body just said, shut down. You don't know what you're doing anymore, and we're taking over. I don't do that. Now I recognize, you know what? You may have seen I had a master class last week. Great, awesome. A lot of work preparing for it. A lot of work preparing my content, creating awareness. We get on the call, technical issues. Are you kidding me? Brand new computer, technical issues. I've spent days trying to resolve this, and it's still not resolved. I'm coming to you today on my old laptop. That's stressful. That knocks you off your game. Like, holy crap. And it's one of those things, like before in corporate, I could just go in, and if we had issues with, pre-Zoom with our audio, all right, guys, you know what? We'll bail. I don't want to waste anybody's time. I'll go look for another time that works and go in Outlook and reschedule. Can't do that. You know what? I've been sharing this with people broadly for days. I got to figure it out. And I did. And so did it mess up my flow because having to re-record it wasn't in my plan, wasn't in my calendar for the week? Yeah. I was like, okay. And I'll be honest, at that second where it started to go wrong audio-wise, there was part of me that for a split second said, just bail. But I didn't. I said, okay, this is life. Let's roll with it, right? I didn't beat myself up either for thinking that because I'm human. It's our natural reaction. You know what? I'll admit this week's been tough. You don't plan for IT issues. You don't plan for them, right? It derailed me a little bit. I had to take a very sweet friend who's 80 years old yesterday to a specialist because they found a mass. And her daughter lives on the other side of the country, and her son couldn't get out of work because he's in the middle of a big project. And I couldn't let this 80-year-old woman go alone and scared. And so I wasn't quite sure, like, hey, how am I going to support her if they give her really awful news? That's draining. Not to mention, I was nervous about, oh my gosh, we have to leave early. What if I oversleep? She's counting on me. And I pick her up and she's shaking. And she tells me, she goes, I'm shaking. I'm so scared. And then we get there and there's a problem with the appointment. And they're telling her, we'll see you in 6 weeks. That's the first week in rescheduling. I'm thinking this woman has to live in fear for another 6 weeks. Not happening on my watch. Luckily, they found time. But this is draining me because now my protective nature comes in. She can't live like that. That's crap. Pardon my language. But you know what? We got through the appointment. They didn't tell her the scary things that she was thinking or the scary things I was thinking. We went, we had a nice breakfast. And she said, I'm going to go home and take a nap. And I got home and I couldn't keep my eyes open. I said, you know what? I'm going to listen to the example of my elders. I need to go close my eyes and be in a dark room for a few minutes. And I took a nap. And again, you're probably thinking, must be nice, Virginia, to be able to take a nap in the middle of the afternoon. I can't do that. And you're right, you can't. And when I was in a corporate job, I couldn't. And that reminded me how I would sit there and literally be trying to hold my eyes open in a meeting. Have you done this one? Or you're sitting in a meeting, listening. Head bob? Yeah. If you're doing that regularly, that's a sign. Don't ignore it like I did. Recognize it. That's the thing now. Yes, I still have days of overwhelm. And sometimes there are a few days in a row. Because it's life. It's messy. But I recognize it and I know how to deal with it. Maybe a nap isn't the solution. Maybe it's, you know what? I'm going to let myself cry. There's a very good chance I may start to cry before this is over because I'm very worried about somebody very special to me. And I could have said, you know what? Nobody needs to know that. But I realized when I talk to women, one of the things they want is permission. And some just wanted permission to break down. And you know what? Give yourself that permission. I did this morning. I said, you know what? My day's going to start later. I'm going to sit quietly and pray and cry and have my emotions. And then I will do my work. And so that's why I'm here. It's not as neat as it would normally be. This is a little messy. Hopefully the audio is working. But to me, it was important to let you all know you are not alone. Give yourself the permission. Give yourself permission to think, you know what? I got too much going on right now. I need to sit. I need to refocus. I need 5 minutes of quiet. I just need 5 minutes to get my thoughts together. And I'm good. 5 minutes will make all the difference. But you have to recognize you need it. If you need to break down, go ahead. Get on the Zoom calls. Turn your camera off. Turn your sound off. Don't let them see it. You know, we think that it's a sign of weakness if we have to take time to regroup or break down. No, it's not. It's healing, right? It's healing. So if you feel like you need it, don't keep pushing through. Recognize it, okay? If you're like, all right, you're right. I recognize it. I don't know what to do though. I've been feeling this way for so long and just pushing through. I don't know what to do different. I'm here. Just like I was there for my friend who was shaking in fear, I'm here for you. Because I don't want anybody to think that they're the only one going through that. Right? Here I am. I'm an executive burnout coach. And I'm telling you, I have days that I get overwhelmed too. That does not mean I'm any less competent at my role, that I have any less value to offer. It means you're not alone and I'm going to help you get through this. So today's going to be a little bit shorter, folks. So with that, if this resonated with you, or if you have a friend that you're like, I think they need to hear this. I think they think they're the only one. Please pass it along. Not for my sake, for theirs. And I'm here to help. You heard that sniffle. I told you I might cry. Reach out. Drop me a comment. Send me a DM. Check out my website, virginiawalton.com. It's 2020. You can find each other. We can find each other if we want to. Just reach out and let me see how I can help you. Because nobody should have to go through this alone or think that they're the only one struggling, because you're not. 2.3 million working moms have experienced burnout just since the pandemic. 2.3 million. If you think you're alone, I'm sorry. You are 1 in a million, 1 in 2 million, but you're certainly not alone. So let's talk. All right. With that, be well.